So friends, welcome to another tutorial of our PHP series, and in this video we will learn in detail about variables in PHP. First of all, we will see the definition of variable. Variables are containers for storing information. Variable values are changed over time while program execution. By looking at this picture, you can easily understand the concept of variables in PHP. You can think a PHP variable like a box, and the values that we save in our variable like these items. So as we can save these items inside this box, similarly we can save information in our variables in PHP. Here is an example of PHP variable. On the left side, we have a variable named mark. A PHP variable starts with $sign, and this is assignment operator, which means the value that you will write on the right side will assign to our this marks variable. So you can think this variable as a box, and basically this is the information which we store in our this variable, and in the last you must have to type semicolon to avoid errors in PHP. So friends, before moving onward, I just want to share some rules to declare a variable in PHP. The first rule is a variable must start with $sign. As I discussed before, you must start a PHP variable with $sign. If you will use another symbol or directly start typing the variable name, PHP will never accept this and it will generate an error. So make sure to put $sign in the beginning of each variable name. The second rule to declare a PHP variable is a variable name must start with a letter or underscore character. It means you can never start a PHP variable with a special symbol or with a digit. The third rule is a variable name cannot start with a number. As I discussed before, the first letter of your variable must be an alphabet or underscore. And similarly, here you can see the fourth rule. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores. If you type special symbols like star, and or something else, PHP will never allow you to do this. You must have to type a variable which will be a combination of these characters. And in the last, variable name are case sensitive. It means if you type age variable in lowercase letters, PHP will think that this is a variable, and if you type another variable age with uppercase, PHP will think that these are two different variables. So friends, let's move toward practical. First of all, I will create a new file here named variables.php. Make sure to start your XAMPP server by using this button. I will minimize this. Open your browser and type here localhost/learn-php. This is the folder that we were created in our htdocs folder. And next, type here variables.php, which is our PHP file name that we have created here. Create PHP opening tag here, and I will create my first variable here like $a is equal to, and I'm going to assign a value like 5 to this variable, and in the end press semicolon. You can use PHP echo function to display a variable on the screen like this. If I refresh my page, you can see that it is printing the value of variable that we have stored in it. So basically in this example, we have stored an integer inside our variable, but if you want to store a string inside your variable, you have to use a little bit different technique. Suppose if I have a variable like name is equal to, you cannot type like fine gap and semicolon. This is not the right way. You have to put single quotes or double quotes around your string to store a string value inside your variable. And if I type here name, and if I refresh my page, you can see that it is printing the string. Similarly, you can store floating point value and boolean value inside a variable and the other data types that a programming language provide to you. One thing to keep in mind that PHP is a loosely typed language, and you don't have to declare like your variable is a string or integer. PHP is a loosely typed language, and it will automatically detect that which type of value you have stored in your variable. In this case, you have stored an integer. PHP will automatically assign the int type to this variable, and in this case you have stored a string value in your variable, and PHP will automatically assign a string data type to this variable. So as I discussed in the theory that PHP variables are case sensitive, so let me show you through practical. Suppose we have a variable like age is equal to 13 years, press semicolon, and similarly suppose we have a variable named age, but these letters are in uppercase, and I'm going to assign a value to this variable like 30 years and press semicolon. So if I will type here echo age, which is in lowercase, let me show you by refreshing this. You can see that it is displaying me 13 years. But if I type here age in uppercase and refresh your page, you can see that it is displaying the value of our second variable. According to PHP, these two variables maybe have same spellings, but these are different variables because PHP is a case sensitive programming language. But in case of these functions, you can type them in uppercase as well. PHP will allow you to do this. But in case of variables, PHP is a case sensitive programming language. So let's look a little bit example of adding two numbers using variables. Suppose we have a variable name a is equal to, I'm going to assign this value to semicolon. Similarly, I will declare another variable like b and I'm going to assign it to a value like 10. And if I declare another variable c is equal to a plus b, now what will happen in this equation would be, it will add the value of b into value of a, means 10 into 2, and after adding this, the sum would be 12, and that 12 value will be saved in our this third variable, which is c. And if I will type here echo c semicolon, in the output you can see that we have 12 answer. But suppose you have a value of, let me remove this complete code. Suppose you have a variable like first underscore name. The empty spaces in PHP variables are not allowed. If you will type like this first name, PHP will generate an error for you. So make sure to put underscore here. You can use another variable naming techniques like camel case. Now here I will type single quotes like fine plus semicolon, and suppose I have another variable last name is equal to gap. Press semicolon. Here I will teach you how you can concatenate these strings together. Suppose we have another variable like full underscore name is equal to, you can simply type first name and again you can type here dot double quotes, you can type here space, and after this dot you can type your last name variable here. And if I will echo this full name at this position, you will see that it will combine these two variables and it will print at this position. If I will remove this empty space from here, you will see that this empty space will be removed from this position. So this is called concatenation, and this process is done if you have string data stored in your variables. PHP also allow you to write your variable inside double quotes. Suppose I have double quotes here, so I can directly type here like first name space and last name. Without concatenation, you can use this technique to combine these two variables. Okay friend, this was the concept of variables in a programming language and in PHP. And before closing this video, I just want to give you a challenge. You have to declare two PHP variables. The first variable name would be height and the second variable name would be width, and you have to store the value of these variables by multiplying them with each other in a third variable name area, and you have to display that area in your screen. If you have any question, you can ask us in the comment section. We will try to answer your question, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for our regular videos. And finally, thanks for watching.